Genesis 24, 1-10, the journey for Isaac's bride. Abraham was an old man now. His hair had turned white like the snow on distant mountains, and his hands trembled slightly when he lifted them in prayer. Yet his heart was strong, for the Lord had blessed him in every way. His tents were full of servants, his flocks covered the hills, and his name was known across the land. One quiet evening, as the sun sank behind the hills of Canaan, Abraham called for his most trusted servant, an old and faithful man who had ruled over all that Abraham owned. The servant entered the tent and bowed deeply. Abraham's eyes, though dim with age, were filled with purpose. "Put your hand under my thigh," he said softly. Following the ancient custom of making a solemn promise, the servant did as he was told, waiting for his master's words. "I want you to swear before the Lord, the God of heaven and earth," Abraham continued, "that you will not take a wife for my son Isaac from the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom we live. You must go instead to my homeland, to my own family, and find a wife for him there." The servant hesitated. "But my master," he said, "what if the woman refuses to come back with me? Shall I take your son there to your homeland?" Abraham shook his head firmly. "No, do not take my son there. The Lord God of heaven took me from my father's house and promised me this land for my descendants. He will send his angel before you and guide your way. If the woman is unwilling to come, you are free from this oath, but do not take my son back." The servant bowed again, understanding the weight of the mission. With great respect, he placed his hand under Abraham's thigh and swore the oath. The next morning, as the sky turned golden, the servant prepared for the long journey. 10 strong camels knelt outside Abraham's tents, their backs loaded with gifts, silver, gold, and fine cloth. The servant looked once more toward his old master, who stood silently at the entrance, leaning on his staff and watching. "May the Lord guide you," Abraham said. The servant bowed deeply and turned toward the east. The caravan began to move slowly across the desert sands, the camels' feet pressing soft prints into the earth. The air shimmered with heat, and the horizon stretched endlessly before him. He was on his way to Mesopotamia, to the city of Nahor, on a sacred mission to find a bride for Isaac, the son of promise. And so began one of the most important journeys in all of Abraham's household, aka Journey of Faith, Obedience, and Destiny.